a few years ago when the king was still a prince, and at the IAE we had 4 captains of industry, and they were presenting awards, and 3 of them said, well, I have to say, I'm an engineer because of that fellow there. And it was 3 out of 4 on that day, and it's just amazing. It's lovely. And skiing last week, I've had to be in makeup because of my skiing accident, because I was covered like this and I got a sunburnt nose. Okay. But I was skiing.
You went skiing last week?
I was skiing, skiing last week. My lift pass is €2 for the year. That's me. That's me.
There you are.
Look at you go.
I wouldn't mind. But I'm actually going uphill there. You can't really see. It's hardly downhill. I do ski a bit steeper than that. And it's fabulous. I love it tremendously,
Now, in your book, you also talk about some of the mad and crazy stunts that you did whilst filming all of these TV shows, one of which found you putting 250,000 volts through your fingers, Johnny.
That wasn't one of the programmes. That's when I worked for National Grid, because I worked for National Grid for 7 years. I wrote their brochures for the public.
Did you really?
Yeah, and that, what you do, you're in a chair and they hoist you aloft, well aloft, on a fiberglass pole, and then they edge you slowly towards that. It's called a bus, that metal thing to my right? And there's 250,000 volts, because that is the network for London.
Wow.
And you get closer and closer, and you're in a suit which is like a Faraday cage. There's metal running through it. So suddenly you're scared to death, And if you make contact with the ground, you are instant toast, Oh. And you go, and suddenly it jumps across, and you go, ugh! And then. Oh, it's wonderful. And then you start playing God. You start playing with 250 volts coming from finger to finger. And you can see it's echoing, if you like, echoing out of your other extremities. And it is the most heady thing. So they actually fix the lines 400,000 volts while it's still connected. Wow. So they're working with 400,000 volts going through them when they connect them. Because when you get 4 wires and there's a cross piece that holds them apart, well, they wear, and they can tell from infrared that it's worn. So they change those, but they change it while the 400 volts is... And they zap each other with 400,000 volts. And it's fabulous.
Definitely not one to try at home, can we just categorically say?
Yeah,
yes.
And it's so safe, and it is so safe and quite amazing. But what an experience. And the heart kept going.
Oh, I bet. Just the fear.
And also, Johnny, you were once nominated for an international Emmy. And am I right in saying that Jim Henson from the Muppets wanted you to go and work for him?
Well, what happened? We got a show, and the guy who's head of European Children's said that is the best show I've ever seen, and it was called Doors. And I played Olivier. Explain the castle door. Ere though these walls do strong and heavy be, the weakest pass the door. And you can see, this must say, right. So I'm doing all that. So we get this international Emmy, and we're up against a program that Henson had done. And you're in a room with 800 people at these places. So we're in a hotel, the room for 800 pieces, and we learn that the team we're up against, with perhaps 10 times or even 20 times our budget, had hired the same room above to celebrate winning. No. Wow. So we weren't really at the hunt. And that was a Jim Henson production. But they invited us, and we went to their party. And they offered me a job. And they said, would you like to work? But you'd have to work in Canada at the moment. And I said, I can't. I'm writing 3 series a year. I'm doing road shows and things like that. I'm sorry, I can't. So I turned down Jim Henson. Oh. And it was only a year or so later they started the Muppets, and I think that would have been a tremendous thing. Except they didn't do bad writing without me, did they?
No, it's a pretty decent show, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. But your book, can't wait.
Oh, well, there you are. So it's out on Saturday.
There we go.
Yes, it escapes. It's all planned, and it escapes on Saturday. And it's a story of my life, and it's the ups and downs, incredible ups and downs, incredible stories you just can't believe. And one of the payoffs at the end, I say, it's only 2 stories because they're all individual stories. Yeah. It's not a narrative. Yeah. One story, another story, right? And this one says, worth the price of the book alone.
Oh, well, do you know what, Johnny? The book is out on Saturday, and we can't wait to purchase it.
This is my exercise routine.
Yeah.
You see, and you do want to see any of that? I thought you might want to.
Well, unfortunately, it means we'll only have 3 minutes with Claudia.
Exactly.
No, but that's more than enough. I
Is
like
it?
the sound of
I'll
your
go in the
exercise.
corner and do my exercises. You carry on.
What kind of
Okay,
exercises?
I'll keep talking.
Sorry.
But I reckon you can do some exercises in the background.
Yeah,
we can
show
do
me.
both. We can do it all.
That's more than
There we
enough.
go.
No, it doesn't matter.
I'm exhausted.
Claudia, we're talking about you now.
No, it's not. It's not.
We're going to talk about Claudia for a teeny tiny bit.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Winkleman, we good?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Right, time now to talk to Claudia.
I'll do the exercises.
About launching
Johnny squat.